The champagne flute trembled in my hand as David's lawyer placed the manila envelope on the sweetheart table, right between the wedding centerpiece and my sister's three-tier cake. The string quartet was still playing Pachelbel's Canon, and 200 guests were mid-bite into their filet mignon when my husband of 3 years decided this was the perfect moment to destroy me. "Sign it now or leave," David said, his voice carrying that casual cruelty I'd grown to recognize only after the wedding ring had trapped my finger. He wasn't even looking at me. His eyes were on his phone, probably already texting whoever he'd been meeting at those late-night business conferences. The entire head table turned to watch. My sister Emma, still glowing in her wedding dress, froze mid-laugh. My parents, who'd been toasting their new son-in-law moments ago, set down their glasses with sharp clinks. And there, at the end of the table, David's mother Victoria sat with her perfect posture and Botox-smooth smile, her diamonds catching the light as she delicately cut her meat. "David," I whispered, heat flooding my face. "This is my sister's wedding." "Exactly." He finally looked at me, and I saw nothing but cold calculation in those green eyes I'd once found so beautiful. "You won't make a scene here. Just sign, Madison. Make it easy on everyone." My father cleared his throat. "Perhaps this could wait until—" "No, Frank," David cut him off. "Your daughter needs to learn that the Patterson family doesn't tolerate certain behaviors. This is a kindness, really. She could be getting much less." Behaviors. He meant the fact that I'd finally stood up to his mother last week when she'd called me breeding stock that wasn't producing. Or maybe it was because I'd refused to quit my job at the museum to become a full-time Patterson family ornament. Emma's new husband, Marcus, looked like he wanted to sink into the floor. The wedding photographer was still circling, capturing every humiliating moment. I could already see tomorrow's country club gossip spreading like wildfire. "Mrs. Patterson," the lawyer said, sliding a Mont Blanc pen across the table. "If you'll just sign where indicated." "Read it," I said quietly. The lawyer blinked. "I'm sorry." "Read it out loud." My voice was steady now, though my heart hammered against my ribs. "If my family is going to witness this, they should know exactly what I'm signing." David's jaw tightened. "That's not necessary." "Actually," I said, meeting his gaze, "I think it is. After all, you chose this venue. This audience. So let's give them the full show." Victoria's fork paused halfway to her mouth. For the first time in 3 years, I saw uncertainty flicker across her face. The lawyer glanced at David, who gave a sharp nod. "Very well. This is a mutual dissolution of marriage agreement between David Patterson III and Madison Patterson, née Williams. Terms include forfeiture of all marital assets, waiver of alimony claims, and—" "Skip to page 4, I said. The interesting part. The guests at nearby tables were openly staring now. Someone had discreetly turned off the music. Even the waitstaff had frozen, champagne bottles still in hand. The lawyer shuffled papers. "Page 4 contains standard clauses regarding—" "Paragraph 3, I pressed. "The one about premarital agreements superseding all subsequent arrangements." David's face went very still. Victoria set down her fork. The lawyer adjusted his glasses and read. "In accordance with the premarital agreement signed June 15, 2021, any attempt to dissolve the marriage within 5 years of the wedding date will result in the forfeiture of all Patterson Industries shares currently held by the initiating party, to be transferred immediately to the non-initiating spouse." The silence was deafening. "Furthermore," the lawyer continued, his voice growing uncertain, "as stated in Addendum C, if dissolution proceedings are initiated in a public venue with the apparent intent to humiliate or coerce, the initiating party additionally forfeits all trust fund distributions for a period of 10 years. Victoria's champagne glass shattered against her plate. "How much?" Emma whispered, the first to break the silence. I kept my eyes on David's rapidly paling face. 43% of Patterson Industries. Current market value of approximately $2.8 billion. "You knew," David breathed. "You knew about the clause." "I've known since the day your mother made me sign that prenup." I stood slowly, smoothing my cocktail dress. She was so concerned about protecting the family fortune from a gold digger that she insisted on the most ironclad terms possible, including the part about public humiliation. Funny how she never thought her son might be the one to trigger it. "This is entrapment," Victoria shrieked, shooting to her feet. "You manipulated him. I sat at family dinners for 3 years while you called me Baron. I smiled through charity galas where you introduced me as David's current wife. I said nothing when you tried to hire a surrogate behind my back. I picked up the pen. The only thing I manipulated was staying quiet long enough for David to show everyone exactly who he is. My father was gripping the table, his knuckles white. My mother had tears in her eyes. But Emma was smiling, the same fierce smile she'd worn when she'd beaten up Tommy Morrison for putting gum in my hair in 3rd grade. "You can't do this," David said, but his voice cracked. "The company, my father built that company. And your mother built that prenup." I signed my name with a flourish. "Which means that as of..." I glanced at the lawyer's watch. 8:47 p.m. on September 23rd, I'm the majority shareholder of Patterson Industries. The lawyer's hands shook as he notarized the signature. Somewhere in the background, someone started a slow clap. Then another. Soon half the wedding was applauding while the Patterson family table sat in frozen horror. "Oh, and Victoria?" I turned to my former mother-in-law. "That little side deal you have with Senator Morrison? The one you've been hiding from the IRS? David keeps remarkably detailed records. I'm sure the authorities will find them fascinating." Her face went from pale to gray. "You wouldn't dare." "Watch me." I set down the pen and picked up my champagne. "A toast, everyone. To Emma and Marcus. May your marriage be built on love, respect, and really, really good lawyers." The room erupted. Emma jumped up and hugged me, wedding dress and all. My father was openly crying. And David was slumped in his chair, staring at the papers like they might spontaneously combust. "Security will escort you out," I told him quietly. "Your things will be shipped to your mother's house. Though you might want to find somewhere else to stay. I have a feeling she's going to be quite upset about losing her company." As I walked away from the head table, leaving the wreckage of the Patterson family behind, Marcus caught my arm. "That was incredible. But how did you know he'd do it here?" "Tonight." I smiled. "Because Victoria Patterson values control above everything else. She couldn't resist the chance to humiliate me in front of my family at my sister's wedding. It was the ultimate power play." I glanced back at the head table, where 3 generations of Patterson privilege were melting down in real time. She just never considered that someone like me might play the long game better than her. Emma grabbed my other arm. "Mad, where are you going? This is still my wedding." "I know, Em. And I'm so sorry." "Sorry." She laughed, bright and delighted. "Are you kidding? This is the best wedding gift ever. You just took down the Patterson empire in a Vera Wang dress. Now come on, we have a party to get back to. And I want every detail of how you pulled this off." As the band struck up again and the wedding resumed, minus the Patterson table, which security was quietly clearing, I felt my phone buzz. A text from an unknown number. "Brilliant execution. The board meets Monday. We should talk. Richard Blackstone, CEO Blackstone Holdings." I deleted it. I'd deal with the sharks circling Patterson Industries later. Tonight, I was going to dance at my sister's wedding, free for the first time in 3 years. "Madison." My mother appeared with a fresh glass of champagne. "Darling, I have to ask, is it really 2.8 billion? I accepted the glass and clinked it against hers. "Actually, with the trust fund clause, it's probably closer to 3.2. She blinked, then burst out laughing. "Oh, sweetie, remind me never to make you angry." "Too late," I said, watching David being escorted out by security, his mother's shrill voice fading into the night. "But I promised to use my powers for good. Mostly." The photographer appeared, camera ready. "Ms. Williams? Could we get a shot of you with the bride?" I linked arms with Emma, both of us grinning like kids. The flash went off, capturing the moment. 2 sisters, one in white and one in emerald green, celebrating love, justice, and the beautiful karma of a perfectly executed prenup. "You know," Emma whispered as we posed, "Marcus's brother is single. And definitely not a Patterson. I literally got divorced 20 minutes ago. So, you're also literally a billionaire now. You can do whatever you want." She had a point. As I looked around the wedding reception, at my family, my freedom, my future, I realized she was absolutely right. I could do whatever I wanted. And what I wanted, right now, was to dance. The band launched into celebration, and I pulled my sister onto the dance floor, laughing as our father joined us, then our mother, then half the wedding. Soon the entire room was moving, united in the strange joy of witnessing a spectacular comeuppance. From across the room, I caught sight of the head table, now reset with fresh flowers and place cards. The Patterson seats remained empty, their absence more powerful than their presence had ever been. Good riddance, I thought, raising my glass to the empty chairs. And good luck explaining this to the board on Monday. Then I turned my back on that life forever and danced with my family, my real family, until the stars came out and the last champagne bottle was empty